Hey guys, welcome back to Reserved Investments on YouTube. So I just want to state this video is going to be very controversial for some of you out there. You must understand that yes, why it's true, I am a passionate collector in the antiques and collectibles trade. I do tend to look at everything from a financial perspective because I'm educated in business, economics, and finance. And that has allowed me to become, over the years, a very successful investor and speculator in a lot of these markets, whether we look at the trade from the standpoint of the short-term perspective, or if we take even a long-term perspective at how these markets operate, whether we're talking about antiques, collectibles, antiquities, whatever it is, if it is in the overall antiques and collectibles trade, there are certain elements as to how these markets work that are not routinely discussed on YouTube. And one of the more controversial topics is when we talk about collectors selling or parting ways with their collection, or even selling off a few choice pieces that no longer serve them, or that they want to raise cash to go into a different market, whether it's they're getting married, maybe they're having a kid, maybe they want to buy a house, maybe they want to buy a rental property, maybe they want to just invest in stocks, bonds, mutual funds, ETFs, and collect casually. So it just depends on the circumstance. But one thing that is always controversial is when I say collectors should always be selling. This is something that a lot of the Timmies, Kimmies, and Poindexters attack me for, but it is 100% true. Now, there are certain markets that are better for selling and taking profits out of than others. If you tell me that you collect certain types of traditional antiques that only a few specialty auction houses cater to for you to get top dollar, that's a different animal entirely. Most of the people watching this channel are investing in pop culture collectibles, whether it be toys, video games, comic books, collectible card games like Magic the Gathering, Pokemon, sports cards, whatever it is. Most of you collect something that could be easily liquidated. Notice I did not say easily replaced. That's another topic that we have to bring up as well when we have this discussion. I invest in high-end pieces of coins and currency. Some of the pieces in my collection, if I were to part with them, or if I were to sell them, if I wanted to buy them back, it would probably take me 2, 3, 4, 5 years or more to find them on the open market again. So if you have something that rare and historic, yes, you may not want to part with it. You may not want to sell it, just due to the fact that if you go to buy it back, you're going to have a problem trying to get it, and you may even pay a higher price to get it once you find it. That is not the norm, though. Most of you out there, if you're investing in comic books, if you're investing in toys, if you're investing in sports cards, if you're investing in Pokemon, video games, whatever it is, I assure you, most, not all, most of those items can easily be replaced. Now, if you happen to have a Nintendo World of Championships gold or gray cartridge in high grade, obviously that's something that was not mass produced. You're not going to be able to find that very easily. So that is something where if you do want to part with it, you really have to make that decision, because it's probably something you're not going to find quite easily if you go and buy that item back. But for the majority of people out there, they are investing in common as day pop culture items. And even if you tell me, Sean, I have a set of PSA 10 Magic the Gathering Alpha and Beta cards, I can sit here and tell you those particular items in most cases can be easily replaced. There is nothing truly rare in that particular market, with few exceptions, when we compare that market to something as sophisticated as certain types of high-end coins, currency, other traditional artifacts, and antiques. So I just want to make this very clear. The decision to sell is a personal one, but there are 3 reasons every collector should at least sell from time to time. And notice when I say sell, I'm not telling you to sell the entire collection. I am telling you to sell into the market a couple of pieces or even one piece just to test the market and see where it's at. And that's where we begin. The first reason every collector should sell is any attempt at selling an item gives you insights into the market that you do not get if you are only a buyer and or a speculator. And this is very important. I cannot tell you how much insight I get as an investor in the overall antiques and collectibles trade just by selling into the market. Let me use this as an example. You guys know I did a video on this. I invested, I don't want to say heavily, but I have a collection of vintage and machine-made marbles from Acro Agate, from Christian Agate, that were made from the 1920s all the way up through the 1960s. They are sitting in my living room upstairs in display cases. There's roughly $10,000 worth of marbles there. So I finally made the decision to part with them. And I honestly thought that I was going to get slapped in the face with a stale donut when I started to consign some of these particular marbles. Well, I teamed up with a very knowledgeable marble collector and dealer that is on eBay. And he said to me, Sean, you know, some of these pieces are really one of a kind. You actually are going to do quite well with this collection. And I can tell you that some of the pieces that I consigned, seeing what they sold for, I got a surprise in that market, meaning I'm not going to lose as much money as I thought. In fact, on certain pieces, I'm going to make a lot of money on those particular marbles. Now, even me, as an expert in the antiques and collectibles trade, I would not have been able to get that knowledge without selling into that market firsthand and seeing what the overall market was going to do in regards to my collection. So this is one reason why, even as an expert, even as somebody who reviews pricing information, who looks at all these auction estimates, all these auction end prices, I still sometimes get a better feel for the market if I am selling into that market. And I don't care if you're selling marbles, I don't care if you're selling video games, comic books, Pokemon cards, Magic the Gathering, whatever it is. The way that you get a feel for the market is by letting go, being able to sell a piece and seeing what it's going to go for. This will also help you adjust your investment plan going forward. For instance, if you sell something into the market and you go, you know what, I guarantee I'm going to get $2,000 for that, and you realize the auction ends or you consign it and it only goes for like $1,200 or $1,500, guess what? You have to understand that that market is not performing the way that you think it is performing. And if you are going to continue to put money in that market, you have to be prepared for a possible downturn. So this can help you become a better collector, a better speculator, and or a better investor overall. The second reason collectors should sell into the market from time to time is selling allows you to take profit that may not ever be present again. You know, guys, we talk about emotional attachment a lot on this channel. I am holding in my comic book collection a CGC 9.4 copy of Incredible Hulk 181 that is in 9.4 condition, graded by CGC. Now, this particular book, over the last year, this book has went to new heights to the point where right now it is selling for close to anywhere from $19,000 to $21,000. My buy-in was nowhere near that. So all fundamentals are telling me I should sell this book right now. But I am still emotionally attached to that book. One of the things that I got to understand is that collectibles are not stocks. Just because this particular book is going up in value in the year 2021 does not mean that that item is going to continually to go up in value year after year. Eventually, a correction is going to hit that market. So I would be better off letting go of that book, selling it, and just taking my profit and running with it and putting that money in mutual funds, index-based funds, real estate, or the like. So this is a lesson that I want to give to my viewers out there who struggle with this same ideology where, well, how do I know when to let go of some of this stuff? Now, let me go back to the subject of scarcity here. A copy of Incredible Hulk 181 in CGC 9.4 condition is not a rare book. It is an in-demand book, but it is not a rare book. If I did want to buy that book back at any given point in the future, I would be able to do so. Now, we don't know what the market is going to do for that book 10, 20 years from now, but I would be able to go on Heritage, Comic Link, even on eBay, and pretty much without much effort, I could find that book again. Even if I had to go through a dealer, like some of the dealers that I recommend, Greg Reese out of Florida is a wonderful comic book dealer. I want to give a shout out also to Bob Storms. Some of these guys, really, if you email them and you say, hey, I'm really looking for this book, they will do what they can to get you a copy. And they'll even give you advice, whether you want it or not. And as a result, I know if I sold that book, I could easily get it again. So that is a prime lesson here. The third reason that collectors need to sell from time to time is that selling allows you to see the market from the unbiased perspective of other buyers and collectors. If you list something on eBay, you are going to have people that are going to show interest in that item, or they're going to ask questions about that item. And as a result, if you interact with those potential buyers, even if you list something like the CGC 9.4 Incredible Hulk 181 on the CGC comic forums, if you list it on a want it to buy or a want it to sell forum, you're going to have people that are going to come to you and they're going to ask questions about that book. And that is going to give you the insight as to what buyers and collectors are thinking about when they're thinking of spending that type of money on a comic book like that, especially in the year 2021. So just to review here, there are 3 reasons why collectors should sell. One is any attempt at selling gives you insights into the market that you don't get if you only buy. 2 is selling allows you to take any profit that may not be ever present again. Remember, guys, collectibles are linear. They are not comparable to stocks. They are not comparable to financial assets over the long term. The market for collectibles is much more niche. And finally, selling allows you to see the market from the unbiased perspective of other buyers, speculators, collectors, and investors. I hope this video serves you well. Please let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and I will see you soon in another video. Thanks for watching.